Welcome to my character roster for 2022 of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. We're going to do it a little bit differently today. We're rocking our Habana Heights t-shirt for this, and we're going to do a little bit of a different style for this particular video. And I thought it'd be a little bit different just so you guys can see me, and I got it all lit up in here as you can see. So I have a character list that I came up with for characters that I want to see make it into the game. This game has a ridiculous amount of characters that can potentially make it into the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. And with crossplay not out yet, it's quarter one, I thought this would be a perfect video to talk about some of the characters that can make it into this particular game. And you guys should share your list for some of the characters. I would say some of the characters that you want to see make it into this. And I'm sure there's going to be problems with licensing. There's going to be problems with trying to get certain characters. They're going to take particular characters, like one in particular I'm going to get ready to talk about, and many others are going to have maybe take a little bit longer than others trying to get the rights and the licenses to try to be implemented into this game. We already have 22 characters. We recently had Shredder as the newest DLC, and we only had Shredder and Garfield as the free DLC for this particular game. And most of the DLC that's coming out from as the year goes on is not going to potentially be free. I'm not sure how much they're going to charge for these characters. I'm not sure how much they're going to really try to if they're going to do like a fighter's pass or maybe a DLC pack where the character will come out with a particular stage and is the costume going to be sold separately? How are they going to really implement this DLC? How is the paid DLC going to work out for this game? And maybe it'll have a separate item shop, similar to how the Battle Royales have their separate item shops where these skins and particular characters can be purchased on the store. So I came up with this little idea for my own little character list, or character wish list, more like it, for 2022. So since we're in the first quarter of 2022 now, at this point, now it's time to start talking about more of what's going to come out for this game. Is it going to be able to grow? Is it going to be more characters that we can get from these different universes? Because there's so many Ninja Turtle characters. We got 4 characters from the Ninja Turtles world. We got 3 SpongeBob characters with SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy. And then we only got 2. We got 2 of the 4 turtles from Ninja Turtles from their world. And then we got April O'Neil and Shredder as a potential villain. The game itself is lacking villains. So I'm going to talk about that. So let's go ahead and just start going through my list. And this same list is going to be in the description of the video. And just like I mentioned, if you guys want to get into the discussion, you can drop your list for some of the characters that you want to see implemented and hope to see come out in this game. I'm not sure who's going to come out next. I'm not sure if it's going to be another free DLC. We're just going to, only time will tell, and we'll be able to find out from there. But I came up with a first character for Timmy Turner. I was going to say Timmy Turner. Timmy Turner and Cosmo and Wanda. Timmy Turner, my personal opinion, he's probably not going to be out. He's probably not going to be out until later this year. I would be very surprised if he is our first paid DLC character. But Timmy Turner, I don't see him fighting by himself. I don't think he can be able to have any sort of offense without his fairy godparents, Cosmo and Wanda. So why not have him bundled with Cosmo and Wanda to be able to be purchased in the same or in an all-in-one package? See what I'm saying? So that could probably be something that could come out, and then an alternate skin could be like his Clef the Boy Chin Wonder. I'm not going to have all these different alternate skins for each of these characters, but these are just some ideas. He can play almost similar to a Pokemon trainer, and just like I already did for a separate video for character ideas for him, I thought maybe the player can switch between Cosmo and Wanda to call upon to grant certain wishes to give him offensive and defensive buffs. That would probably be a good fit for him in this particular game. So that way, Cosmo and Wanda can fit that balance, and the character or the player behind or the player that's controlling Timmy Turner can use which fairy date he or she chooses to play as, and to help him out and give him an advantage to try to come out victorious in the battle. So Timmy Turner, I don't see him coming out individually. It wouldn't, me personally, it wouldn't make sense for him to come out individually, and then you just release Cosmo and Wanda as individual characters with their regular spells. That could be cool, but they're always with him. So it would be only fitting to have Timmy Turner just be bundled with Cosmo and Wanda to help him out in the fight, and he can be able to have certain wishes will be able to be granted to give him certain advantages as the fight goes on. So that was just a little idea for Timmy Turner. So Timmy Turner with Cosmo and Wanda to come out all in that for an all-in-one package. My next character, I'm going to talk about Arnold Shortman. It's crazy how he's not in this game. And we have Helga as a representative. She's more of a fighter. And just like I said before, I did a character idea for him as well. He is not really much of a fighter, and I think that's why the developers probably ended up picking Helga over Arnold. I'm not sure if he's going to even make it into this game because he's not fit as a fighter for this game. Even though he has his own show, Hey Arnold, and they had to get someone else as a good representative for that show. Not saying he doesn't deserve to be in the game. He should be in this game. He's an original Nickelodeon Nicktoon, 90s Nickelodeon show that most of us grew up watching. And there's so many other characters like Gerald and many others they can probably pick up that could be a good pick from his show. She's the only rep in Nickelodeon All-Stars. There's no one else from the show. But just like I mentioned, with Arnold Shortman possibly being in the game, hopefully he can be able to make his way as one of our paid DLC. I'm going to get into El Tigre. I think he's a good spot and a good pick for this game. And I don't know if you guys have seen it. El Tigre is one of my favorite shows, and not many people know about the adventures of El Tigre. And he was like a hero. He has these different abilities with his claws. He's super fast, and he can call upon a certain spirit to give him even more buffs and to be able to have an advantage in the fight. So I didn't talk too much about him, but I think he's a good character and one of the most wanted characters that people would like to see. El Tigre is just one of my favorites for this show that I think can be represented for this. Next we have Jimmy Neutron. Almost the same similar situation for Timmy Turner. We have so many different issues with trying to get the rights to these shows. We don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to be able to get him? Who knows? I heard he's been leaked. Who knows? They might even backpedal and end up getting somebody else. It might not even be Jimmy Neutron. It could be a different character from his show. But he is also another most liked show from Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. If you guys seen the movie before, it's pretty fun to really see all these different shows that's missing. It's crazy to see all these characters missing from this game. And Jimmy Neutron, I thought characters like him, Jimmy and Timmy, they belong in the base roster. They shouldn't be DLC. They're all part of these cartoons and these shows that many people grow and want to see. So I think Jimmy Neutron is going to be a hot pick to hopefully be able to make it into this game for this year. Another lead character, we're going to go into Rocko. So Rocko has already been leaked. He's already been paid DLC. I'm not sure what's going to happen when it comes to him. Maybe he's going to be first. Maybe he's going to come out first. We don't know what we're going to really get with Rocko's Modern World. We don't know. This will be another character I would like to see. Jenny Wakeman, one of the most requested characters, or SJ9. They can get the human form of Jenny Wakeman. They can get or her regular robot form, just SJ9 in that particular order, and that can be an alternate skin or something like that. They could just mix it up. But Jenny Wakeman from My Life as a Teenage Robot, that's another good pick that I would like to see in this game, hopefully maybe by this year. And I wanted upon myself to put in Raphael and Donatello together for my list. And just like I mentioned, we already have 4 Ninja Turtle characters in the game, but we don't have all 4 of the turtles in the game. That's missing. We don't have Raphael and Donatello. Some people like Donatello and Raphael over Michelangelo and Leonardo. So I'm hoping they can get more of the turtles in. Not saying back to back, but we can see they already have the leading amount of characters for this game for the roster. 4 characters, and then some shows only have 1 individual rep to match their shows. But I would love to see Raphael and Donatello. They both have their own unique weapons, and it just wouldn't make sense to have them as alternate costumes because they all fight differently. They use different weapons. Leonardo with a sword uses the swords. Michelangelo is already in the game. And Leo, for example, Michelangelo has the nunchucks. Donatello fights with a pole stick. And then Raphael has the size. See, so they're going to have their own unique offense. They can go as far as getting Casey Jones, Master Splinter. I didn't put them in my list, but those are just so many other characters that they can take from that universe. Other characters like Dr. Stockman for villains, because the game doesn't really have many villains in this game. And then, Krang, if some of you guys remember him. But those characters are not in my list. But I put Raphael and Donatello a part of my 2022 character roster list for DLC. And I think people, just like I said, they favorite those characters. They want to see those other turtles get into the game, and it's pretty crazy to see April get represented because she doesn't get much of a spotlight. So it's awesome to see different characters like that. Now we're going to the SpongeBob universe with Mr. Krabs, and for DLC, and I talked about him as well. He has so many different potential DLC offensive capabilities because he has those big meaty claws. So he can, he can end up using those in different references that I came up with. But I'm not gonna get into all that. But he is another good character that they can take from the SpongeBob universe. They already have 3 characters, but it's so many characters like Mr. Krabs, and I put in also with him Squidward as well for some DLC that people think people would like to see in this game from SpongeBob's universe. So you already got the trio, SpongeBob, Sandy, and Patrick, or Patrick and Sandy. Why not have Squidward and Mr. Krabs be implemented into this game? And then I just took it upon myself to put a villain. How about a villain like Vlad Plasmius from Danny Phantom? Danny Phantom is the only character from his show that's in the game. He's a protagonist, but why not a main villain or someone that he went against in the show? He can just be able to go against and fit that little rivalry. One of his arch nemesis, Vlad Plasmius, who was already an antagonist in disguise, along with some other characters that some people I remember mentioning from the other videos, Ember McLean or something like that. Ember could be something like that, and then maybe some other characters like Dark Danny or Evil Danny. They can change up those different variations for the Danny Phantom universe to be implemented. So I selected Vlad Plasmius because he's an iconic villain from the show. There's not enough villains in this game. It's way too many protagonists. It's way too many heroes, too good faces, or just too many good heroes, and just people that are in the show that are the main protagonists from the show. But there's not many villains that are being taken from these different universes, from these shows, to be added into this game. It's like 2 villains. You got Shredder and then Zim, if you consider him a villain, but he's actually a main protagonist or the main character from Invader Zim. So those are the only 2 villains in the game. There's nobody else in there. So Plasmius will be a good fit. And then I also brought up Zuko. I'm going to add into my list. They don't have a Fire Nation member. They have Aang, and they have the chosen Avatar, who is the chosen one from the show, The Last Airbender, of course. They have Toph, the Airbender, or the Earthbender, and then they have Korra from the Legend of Korra from her own individual show. They don't have anybody to represent that Fire Nation. They can get somebody from the Water Nation like Sokka or Katara or something like that. But I think a lot of people would like to see Zuko, so I put him in my list. I thought he was a villain. I would put him and categorize him as a villain, but later on in the show, he becomes a protagonist. But we don't know. You wouldn't know that unless you watch the show, because the main antagonist was Azula. She could also be in this list. I didn't put her in it. I just ended up selecting Zuko over Azula instead to rep that Fire Nation. I'm taking somebody from the Rugrats era, or the Rugrats show. We have Reptar. That's the only individual character, but I'm going to talk about Angelica, and I picked her in my list. I put her in my list because I think she would have a better chance than Tommy Pickles, Chucky Finster, and all the other characters, the twins, and Susie, and Kimmy. Everybody else, I think Angelica belongs, and this is just another villain that I think would fit this game, and I think she has a better fit. She's more older than the other kids, and then she puts them up to these different evil deeds and stealing the cookies and just going on these different things and doing the wrong things. And I think that she would be a good fit and to really go crazy on the battlefield with Angelica throwing the temper tantrum on the field. So I selected her for the Rugrats era. So just from the Rugrats TV show, just again, Reptar is the only character that we have from the show. Jimmy Neutron's world, I selected Cindy Vortex, going back there. Cindy Vortex, if they can't get Jimmy Neutron, Cindy Vortex is definitely a perfect fit being a fighter in this game. I think she has so much capability of just being offensive. You see it in the show. She knows karate. She even utilizes her karate and her martial arts to be able to save Jimmy when he got captured and kidnapped from one of the episodes. So I think she has so much, just so much potential to be in this game and be able to have an onslaught of attacks. And even if they can't get Jimmy Neutron, still the show can be a good rep. From just see how they did with Helga. Cindy Vortex can be just as good as Helga, if not stronger and better. And from the Jimmy Neutron's world for this, for my list for characters here. Anybody remember Tough Puppy? So I just recently finished talking about this too. Tough Puppy is another good show that I think everybody would like to see implemented into this game. And for my list, I put in Dudley Puppy, who is the Tough Puppy in this particular show and the main protagonist. And then I did Dudley Puppy, and then I did Kitty Katswell. So I thought she would be also a good pick. So one or the other, maybe they can get both of them. That'll be cool. It's for Tough Puppy to be represented. They got the gadgets, they got the weapons, they got the combat skills. Why not someone from the Tough Puppy to be into Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl? And I don't know about anyone else, just talking about this. I went and selected one of the Power Rangers from Megaforce, just anybody from the Power Rangers shows. And I can't believe I completely forgot about this until some of you guys told me. Power Rangers was actually, some of the shows made it on from Nickelodeon. I didn't even know it was from there and on that show, on that particular channel, because I was watching it on other channels outside of Nickelodeon way before those shows made it through. Power Rangers Megaforce, Power Rangers Ninja Steel, and Super Megaforce, all those other shows that were in here and implemented that were Nickelodeon shows. So why not one of the Rangers? That'll be awesome for them. Remember that they just say, it's morphin' time. It's so much fun just watching that back over and over. But I like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the most. But even though it's not on Nickelodeon, they still have other Power Ranger shows from that channel that can be implemented in this game. It doesn't matter if it's the red, blue, red, yellow, or the pink, or just any sort of Ranger that they can get. They can probably get a couple of them anyway. They have their own unique abilities because they have different Megazords that they can control. Of course, they'll be able to not use them in the game for their Megazords that they can call upon, but they can use those different unique weapons that they have to fit their outfits. So that's the Power Rangers for my list. I went to the Wild Thornberries area, the Wild Thornberries show. From this next character, I selected Eliza Thornberry. So Nigel Thornberry is the only rep for his show that's in the game. I love playing as him. Why not get some other characters from the Wild Thornberries, like Eliza Thornberry, that can have her own unique potential wild moveset or something like that to be in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. So I selected Eliza Thornberry and just a couple more characters from my list. Anybody remember Chalk Zone? I love that show from Nickelodeon. Chalk Zone. Who's got the chalk? The intro was amazing. I love just watching that. But I selected Rudy Tabootie and Snap. One of them can get into the game. There would be good reps from it, but I would pick Rudy over Snap. But I like both of them anyway for good characters, good protagonists. And he doesn't meet Snap until he enters this different world from this magical chalk that allows him to enter the Chalk Zone. And just with the Chalk Zone itself, that could be a stage that could come out with Rudy Tabootie, Snap, or somebody from his particular show from Chalk Zone. Why not have the Chalk Zone be a playable stage in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl? I can definitely see that in this game. So another iconic show for my next character, Rocket Power. I selected Otto Rocket, just someone from the Rockets. You got Reggie, Twister, and Sam. I don't know if you guys really like Rocket Power. Some people don't know about this show. This was another good show with a nice intro. I love Rocket Power. Otto Rocket, I just selected him because he's one of the main characters from the show. And the spotlight is usually on him. But some episodes spotlight Twister and then Sam, who was called Squid. Sometimes that they nickname him when they met him from the neighborhood. And then Reggie Rocket as his sister. They can get Otto and Reggie in this game. Or maybe they can get Otto and Twister. And he can just smack you with a skateboard or something like that. I can see that. Just a unique offense, just things like that. And then he can skate towards you on some rollerblades or roller skates, something like that, for a little speed, dash, and strong attack, something like that. I know it makes me think of Lincoln Lau. See how he hits you with a scooter for one of his mid-air strong attacks. It'll be cool. I could see them being implemented. Somebody from the Rocket Power area. And then my last two characters, I selected Kappa Mikey or Mikey Simon. So from that show, and just someone who's like another superhero, a heroic character. I think a lot of people would really like to see him. And then my last character, I selected Doug Funnie for this character from the show Doug. Doug is an old show. It's just as old as Cat Dog. It came on with those particular shows. Well, with those particular shows on the channel. Doug is another character, and just to see him implemented in this game, he doesn't even have to be in his regular outfit with the green shorts, with the green shirt and then the gray shorts, and then his red and white shoes. He can just come in. He can come in as Quailman, which is his imaginary superhero that allows him to fly. He can have that outfit, and if he does come out with his original outfit, that could be an easy alternative costume where he gets the red cape and he gets that little red headband, and then the shirt has the Q marked on it. So that'll be something that can be an easy alternative costume that could come out for a Doug DLC pack. See, so or maybe they can get his rival. I wasn't gonna say his rival, but just the antagonist of the game that's always going after him, Roger. They can get Roger in the game too. He had a green face. But those are some of my characters. So if you missed some of these characters and want to repeat, the list is just going to be in the description for you guys. I just wanted to talk about some of these characters. Is so many, just like I mentioned before, is so many missing characters that are not in this game that belong in the game and that should be a part of the base roster. But I think as time goes on throughout the year, there's probably going to be more characters. I hope to see a new one this month, and since we're in Q1, quarter one, we're supposed to be getting crossplay soon at some point. Maybe a character is going to come out with it, because just based on their updates, a character has always been out with a significant or a major patch or some kind of update. Just for example, Shredder came out with the controller. He came out with at the same time as the controller remapping feature, where you can now just select your buttons and the way you see fit for some of your attacks. I mean, what button you want to be jumped, what button you want to be the jump button, or whatever fits your playstyle for the game, for the controller remapping. So see how he came out with that feature, and then Garfield came out with his own a brand new patch and changes to some of these characters, and then he had a stage with him. Each character that they brought in for both Shredder and Garfield came out with a stage. Double Dare or the Slime Time stage in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is not a Shredder stage, but it's still a brand new playable stage that people can come out and play. It was free and it was associated with the Shredder update. So whatever character it is, whether it's Timmy Turner, Rocko, or maybe some of these other characters that they choose to get from these shows, they don't have to get a show that's from, or get a stage that's from that particular show or from that TV universe or that particular universe. They can still bring out a different show from another show or a different sort of universe to come out with it. See how they did Double Dare? That's a game show. You come out with a game show with Shredder, that's not even a Ninja Turtle stage, but they can still come out with that and be unique with those different updates. A different show, take a show from another area, from another episode, will take a stage from another show and then come out with a brand new DLC character. See how they did that? So that can also be unique. And just because that character comes out doesn't mean it has to be that show to represent them, but it would be nice to see a show that's represented from that particular universe. So if they get somebody like Rocko, it has to be some kind of particular setting or somewhere from Rocko's Modern World. Maybe somewhere with Jimmy Neutron, Retroville, something like that. With Rudy Tabootie, for example, that was in my list, or Snap, the Chalk Zone. See, and you can take those different characters, or the Candy Bar, or just Retro Land with Cindy Vortex. All of those different stages can go hand in hand with these particular characters. So I just wanted to talk about it today and just show some talk about some characters and showcase them. And since we're in Q1, why not start talking about some of these characters and what potentially could come out? We don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully Crossplay comes out this month as well. And I think if more people, all these characters, you can add many characters you want to, but without Crossplay, there's going to be hardly anybody playing the game, and it's going to be very tough to try to play and find players. Because once they take the character, get the character, play with them online, take them online for a few matches, play the arcade mode, play around in training, and then mess around offline against the CPU, against the bots or the AI, you're all out of options of what else to do, because you're not going to find anybody online. Because once you play against someone, they're going to leave, and then they're going to be ready to play someone else, and then they're going to get off, and then you're just going to be all out of options of what you can do in the game with hardly anyone playing without crossplay. But that's it. I just wanted to share my little DLC character roster for 2022. It's so much that this game definitely needs, with crossplay, new modes, so many good characters that I think can really bring people together. I think some of the characters that I mentioned throughout this video, some of you guys will probably be interested in. I'm sure other people will have different preferences. Some people probably haven't grew up with all these shows. They don't know all these characters, and everyone started watching different shows and at different times. It's different for everyone, for preferences. I don't care who they add in this game. I just want to see some more characters. Hope we get crossplay, and then it'll just bring more people to play this game.